Let's start out in Des Moines, Iowa, though. That's where everything's happening in just a couple of hours. And NBC News correspondent Ali Vitale has been there braving all the temperatures out at the campaign event. So, Ali, I know you're with the Haley campaign right now. How are they feeling about everything going into tonight?
Well, look, yeah, you're right, Jen. I have been following the Haley campaign while also braving these icy temperatures here. And that's going to be one of the key things that we're watching for tonight, because the old trope, as you all know, is it all comes down to turnout, which is true. But it's hard to predict what turnout looks like when you're at a -30 wind chill across the state. So certainly that's one of the things that's going to unfold in real time for all of us. For the Haley campaign's part, though, they sort of feel like they're in a good position tonight. It's a win-win regardless of how they place. Of course, they want to come in second. In the words of what one advisor told me, that would be a boom moment within this caucus and within this larger primary. But also, if they come in third and that margin is pretty tight with Ron DeSantis, they sort of feel like that's exactly what the original expectation was anyway. For Haley, though, second place clearly preferred because it allows them to dispense with the notion that Ron DeSantis has a continuously viable path to the nomination. And instead, it allows the Haley campaign to underscore a narrative that they've been driving towards the entire time she's been a candidate, which is that they want it to seem like a one-on-one race between her and Donald Trump by the time they get on the ground in New Hampshire.
I love all these closing arguments. It's also kind of justification for what you see in this last Des Moines Register poll. Everybody's spinning a lot out there. I know also, Ali, that you spoke with Nikki Haley yesterday. I mean, there are kind of a version of closing arguments being made by these candidates. What's her case to voters? What did she tell you when you spoke?
Well, look, for voters, she's just consistently told them she wants to point to the idea that there are some polls that show her more competitive in a general election against President Joe Biden than the former President Donald Trump. But electability arguments are tough to make in a primary that has been so driven by the cult of personality and ideology of Trumpism. And therein is where Haley has been making somewhat of a policy or ideology pitch, which is she'll regularly say that she liked the Trump policies and believes that he was the right president for that time. But she also seeks to make a generational change argument. I think that's one of the interesting pieces here. And as I talk to Haley voters, many of them are ex-Trump voters, if I'm talking to people who are Republicans. But if we're watching the coalition that she's trying to build, and this bears out in our new NBC News Des Moines Register poll, there is a pretty large contingent of independents and Democrats who could make up her coalition into second or third place tonight. That's going to be interesting to watch, especially as it plays out on the ground in New Hampshire, where you guys know well that is also likely to be a big part of the group that she brings in. My big question to her when I spoke with her yesterday in a pull-aside backstage is, can you win the Republican nomination with the backing of independents and Democrats just as much as you have Republicans? She made an argument that that's exactly the kind of big tent that her party should be trying to build. But I think that we all know that that's sort of a pre-Trump way of thinking. I mean, everything that we think about within this political sphere is changed because of Trump's role in this race. I mean, in theory, we should be talking about how Ron DeSantis is running away with the caucus because he invested in ground game, he invested in it early, put all of his resources here, notched almost all the endorsements that you can think of if you were thinking of a dream slate of endorsements in the state of Iowa. He's been here doing almost more than double the events that someone like Nikki Haley has done, and certainly far and away more events than Donald Trump has done. And yet, Trump is not just winning, but winning by miles and miles here in the Hawkeye state. I do think that that's a pretty stunning rebuke of the traditional way that you're supposed to win Iowa.
No question, Ali. And this question of can she compete and win if she doesn't expand her coalition beyond independents, never Trumpers, and Democrats, I think we all know the answer to that question. Ali